we had to wait a couple weeks to get Blake here because he's a big time Race Hub
Yeah. Oh, you've got a lot of stuff
analyst.
going on.
Yeah, I
You're
do.
driver
Yeah.
coaching,
Yeah.
race hub analyst, filter time owner.
Yep.
Did you give up on your own nutrition because I see you're drinking soda today? Is that?
No, I
Oh,
actually
my.
I came straight from the gym with Tiff to here.
Oh, did you?
So I also train some drivers. I started physically training Ty Dillon, and I also work with Matt Tift and get these drivers where they need to be physically to be able to capitalize on their opportunity.
How hard is that? Are
How
these
hard
guys-
is it to train them?
Yeah, or like most are in pretty good shape. I feel like the kids you take on are in pretty good shape. It's not like you're
Well,
starting from.
You know, the
scratch.
way, looking back, when my career ended in racing, one thing I was glad I did was gave it everything I had. I hired Alden Baker.
Oh
as
yeah,
my
I forgot
trainer.
about that. Yeah.
So I had Alden for a year and a half. That put me on the most crazy workout programs and nutrition programs. And when I stopped racing, I knew that, man, I did everything I possibly could to maximize my opportunity.
Yeah.
And from where I thought I was in good shape, like, the average driver, like,
Mhm.
you feel like you're doing good. You go to the gym at the beginning, in the off season, you get ready, but by the time July gets here, you're kind of done and unmotivated. And I realized, like, man, I wasn't in good shape at all.
Yeah.
By the end of working with Alden, when I was racing the 11 car, at the end of the races, I feel like I could have gone I could go race a cup race right away. And there's a difference there. When your heart rate's low, when you're in shape and your body's efficient, you can think more clear. Your reaction time's better. Your vision's better. And when you're dealing in NASCAR, especially the Cup Series, everything's so close that if you can improve yourself, yeah, sometimes it's a bigger deal than making a little adjustment on the car.
Yeah, I'm sure. And he would be the guy to talk to because he's big time Supercross.
Yeah.
Alden
Alden Baker, he just won another championship with Cooper Webb.
Yeah, so Cooper Webb,
Ryan Dungey,
uh,
Mooskin, Zach Osborne,
all
they're
the
all
top
champions.
guys, yeah.
He's the man, and I'll call Alden and get his advice. And he also worked with Jamie McMurray a long time ago.
I didn't know
Right
that.
when I started in racing, I worked for Jamie, and Alden was always at the track
Yeah.
with Jamie. So that's how I met him.
So he kind of knew the physical demands of being a race car driver, and he analyzed it, and we did a lot of things, and I learned a lot from him, and he's kind of my sounding board where I'll ask him about workouts, and just he's just such a great guy, man.
Yeah. So speaking of motocross, that's where you started racing, right?
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
in the day.
Is that
Yeah.
how you met him? He's based in Florida too, right?
Yeah, that's not how I met him though, but I started racing dirt bikes when I was 9 years old and just kind of raced growing up, raced till I was 18, and just a big Supercross fan. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Supercross fan. I don't miss one. I don't miss watching one. I don't go to them all. But I didn't meet Alden that way. I met Alden because me and Trevor, in the off season, Trevor Bain, were like, man, what can we do? Like, can we get a coach? Can we get a driver coach? What can we do? There's no driver coaches available.
Yeah.
Like, when you're a driver, it's a lonely road, man. There's nobody there to help you. Like, nobody. Who's going to help you? It's all about the car. Everybody's focused on the car. But a lot of times drivers, even though they won't say it, they're sometimes unsure about certain things they're doing. And the only thing you can really go off of is data. But I wanted somebody that could help me, could push me to be the best I could be. And the only available person was somebody that could improve my fitness, which was Alden Baker, the best.
Yeah.
Very expensive, but very well worth it.
Yeah.
And I started with him, and Trevor and I were working with Alden, and we just saw the gains and the results and the way we feel and the on-track improvements of thinking clear on the track, and it was one of the best things I ever did.
So is that why you kind of taken and like put in your own program? And,
Yeah.
And just.
Yeah, because there's a need for it, and it's
Yeah.
important, and it works. But I didn't answer your question. How did I meet Alden?
Yeah.
Trevor met him through something with Stenhouse. Stenhouse is, somebody Stenhouse knew Alden, and Trevor got Alden's number, and we started talking to Alden.
Alden
That's
Baker's a stud.
Yeah.
I went and picked a outlaw card up from Dungey's house, and they were flying the Muddy Creek that day, so I had to go down there and meet Alden to get it.
Mhm.
And he was like, "I remember you, mate." And
Yeah.
where he's from. You were just a kid, but yeah, he's a good guy. But I've always found it interesting how you got into racing. First off, you don't walk like a guy that raced dirt bikes for a long time. Did you break a lot of stuff?
I did, yeah. That's why I'm about to get my kid off dirt bikes and into into a roll cage. Because when I was every year before NASCAR, the NASCAR season started, you have to fill out your medical history, and mine is just pages up until 2006 2006 or 2005, it's just like all these injuries, all these hospital visits, all of these um, broken bones, and then after that, there's nothing. And
Yeah.
that's when I went from dirt bikes to cars. And man, I did break a lot of stuff. And but I do work out, 3 days a week and try to do cardio a lot and stay in good shape, stretch a lot. But I'm sure by the time I'm in my 50s and 60s, I'm gonna be feeling it
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Walking a little
I've
different.
got a buddy, Dakota Kessler's his name. You might have raced him. He's a Jersey guy, but a lot of Loretta Lynn's, 250 East starts, and we grew up together. But I went race car way, and he went dirt bike way. And his dad was a factory rider back when Supercross first started. And I stopped by there this week when we were up in New Jersey, and they walk around like they're crippled.
Yeah, their
And they
arms don't
still-
straighten.
Yep.
Rough time.
Yeah, and they still ride a lot. They still got practice track at their house, and he still races, and they do a lot of stuff up in the Northeast. But golly, it's such a rough way.
Yeah,
With age comes a cage, they say, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So when did you, I don't know, guess when you saw NASCAR, wanted to get in that, get off a bike? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember it clearly. I stopped racing dirt bikes after I tore my ACL for the second time, and I was like, gosh, that's
That
that's
feels
a whole
good,
that's
huh?
a year recovery. So I had a 6-month recovery from tearing it the first time, had surgery, like fifth or sixth time back out, tore it again, and I was like, gosh, this ain't happening. Like, obviously, it's not meant to be. And in dirt bikes, when you miss 3 or 4 months of riding, that's like 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
of improvement. Now guys that were in underclasses that you were smoking are now beating you. Like there's not a lot of time you can miss in dirt bikes. The career span is short. So I got out, man. I went to college, had fun in college and learning business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And my stepdad was a big NASCAR fan. And he's like, hey, if I bought this truck, it's called a pro truck, and he showed me a picture, would you want to race it? I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of enjoying going to college and having my weekends. Since I was 9 years old, all I did was race every weekend. Now I'm in college and having fun, and I didn't really want to go spend my weekends at the racetrack anymore. He's like, okay, well then I'm going to buy this truck, and we'll let our friend Eric drive it. And he worked for our family sign business. I was like, all right, well, before you let him drive it, let me just give it a try.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
So we went out to Orlando Speed World and rented the track, and Jeff Choquette was out there. He kind of came out there to help me, and he had his late models there too, and I drove this truck, and it was so much fun. I was hooked right off the bat. It was loud, and it was fast, and I spun out a bunch of times, and I was just hooked. It was just cool. And making adjustments, that's something I didn't really do on dirt bikes, was like tell somebody what I need to change. With dirt bikes, you're just like, you just get after it.
Yeah.
With the truck, I felt like I was maxed. Okay, well, how do I go faster? I feel like I'm maxed, and we start making adjustments, and it was just a new learning curve for me. And I really liked it. And I started racing. And I think I won my fourth or fifth race in that truck. I used to race with Chastain a lot back then in
Down in Florida, huh? Yeah.
Yep, always with Chastain. He was in the kids class for a while when I first started. I think he was like 12,
Yeah.
and I was 20.
Was his truck painted like a watermelon at the time?
It had watermelons on it. Yeah, yeah.
Had to have been.
It was definitely a watermelon truck.
So
he's
where
a
was
little
that, like
kid,
New
man.
Smyrna?
That
and
where I used to see
Orlando?
Ross a lot was in Punta Gorda, called Charlotte County Speedway.
Okay, is that place still running? There's a lot
I'm
of
not
little
sure.
tracks down there. Bronson that I never hear of, and
Yeah, I went
Citrus
to like 3: Charlotte County, DeSoto, and Orlando.
okay.
I never really went to New Smyrna. It was a half mile, and my equipment was, I would just get smoked there. It was just too big.
Yeah.
And it
That
was
place
just,
is sketchy looking when you go, because the straightaways are so long.
Yeah, man. Coming from a little 3/8 mile flat track to New Smyrna is
It's
an
like
eye
it's
opener.
like a Daytona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
nothing
intimidating.
like my first time going to Phoenix though. Like Phoenix was the first big track I ever went to in a K&N car, and I went there, and like you're halfway around the corner, you got to start picking up the gas, and you can't see the exit yet. I'm like, oh, this is strange.
Yeah.
This is weird. It was a big learning curve.
So when did you start racing K&N? Like just right after trucks, or?
Oh man. Well, so I raced my 5th truck race, right, and I thought
Mhm.
I was the man, and I won it.
You're Dale Jr., obviously.
I thought I could beat anybody. These guys on TV, it doesn't look that hard. I can do it. I just did it. I just won. That's my mindset, So I started calling all the NASCAR teams. Hey, I want to be your next development driver. I want to be on your program. And back then, they didn't really ask me, do you have any spot? It wasn't really quite like that. It was
Money
more
wasn't
like,
money wasn't the first question.
no, you still gotta have money. It wasn't the first question, but
Yeah.
it's more like, how many championships have you won? What's your racing background? Do you have any results you can show us? And I was like, well, I've only raced 5 times, but I just won my last race, you know. But one team, Mike Dillon, actually, I called RCR. I told him I was their next guy, their next champion. And Mike Dillon's like, hey, you know, we like you. We'd like to set you up with our K&N West team. You know, Steve Portingay out the 21 car in California. You should go meet him. I went and met him. I went and sat in a K&N car, and I started talking to him. And he's like, well, you know, right now you're just not ready, but keep me updated next year on how you finish and how you do. And I literally every week I just, you know, would email him my results and how I did. And finally I got a shot to go run their backup car at the championship race at All-American Speedway. And David Mayhew was driving the 21. Well, since it was the last race of the year, they said I could run their backup car. And they put 31 on it, and I went out there and practiced, and I ended up out qualifying Mayhew, qualified 4th.
Dang.
And
He's not a bad driver out
No,
west. Yeah.
he's great, man. Great guy too.
Yeah, he's a
But
good dude.
I just remember that feeling. I remember getting back, my wife was crying. She was my wife at the time, but she was crying, and 'cause it was a big deal. Like, I just out qualified David Mayhew. Like, I knew that name and who he was.
Yeah.
I never even drove one of these cars. And then I just talked with him, and they helped us get some sponsors, and we got some sponsorship, and I signed a development deal with RCR
Dang, I didn't know that.
after about 2 years of driving anything. So I drove a year of trucks, about 12 truck races, about 8 late model races, and then full-time K&N.
That doesn't happen very often now.
No.
They're definitely not
No.
going to go out and help you look for sponsorship for sure.
No, and it wasn't that we met in the middle. We just had to bring, you know, partial funding.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So did you run
yeah.
that for a year or?
Ran that for a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
Their K&N stuff.
Yeah, it was the
East
West
or West? It
Series.
was like the full
yeah,
West.
so it was there. It was a little bit outdated, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Good people, and
That's a cool series.
It is
It's a little
cool.
bit. It's different than the East. I think they go to cooler racetracks than the East goes to. They have some cool tracks that
Yeah.
they go to.
I
Yeah,
went to
like-
Portland. That road course, Portland, Oregon, was
Yeah.
one of my favorite tracks I've ever been to.
that's cool.
I love the road courses there.
Some of those, and I don't. It changes year to year.
Irwindale.
But some
Yeah.
of those smaller tracks. I think there was one in Colorado they went to.
Yeah, I
and
went to that
there
race.
was
Yeah,
just some cool.
you could run the top at that little track.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about that series is you kind of see the South Bostons and everything here, but it's like a whole new world when you're not from out west to see what they do and where
Mhm.
they race at and kind of get to experience some of those different tracks. I think that'd be cool to go do.
Yeah, it was fun. It
You
was
gonna
a good
do it
time.
one day?
Nope,
Gonna be a driver
nope.
when the tire training career's over? You're
Maybe
gonna go.
I'm going northeast.
Yeah.
Modifieds. Yeah.
I got you. So after that, did you get Xfinity nationwide at the time? Did that break come next or what?
Yeah, I mean, after my second year in K&N, the timing wasn't right. I don't blame anything on anybody. I was where I was supposed to be, you know. But Austin was coming up, Ty was coming up, and as far as a development driver at RCR, they had Ryan Gifford, they had Ty, they had Austin. There just wasn't room in the Xfinity series.
Yeah, plenty
Stephen
of
Light was
kids.
driving at the time,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the money to even make that next step. But I was able to come up with a little bit of money to race for Randy McDonald in the 81 car at Memphis at the end of 2009. So, I only did 1 year K&N, and I made my Xfinity debut at
Just
Memphis.
Throw it on up.
Throwing up, and I qualified 17th, or qualified 25th, finished 17th on lead lap. And at the time, I was like, oh, that sucks. I blew it. My career's over because I wanted to win. But, like, I didn't know about
And-
what the equipment I was in.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
didn't know. I didn't grow up watching racing. I didn't know anything about it. I just figured it was all driver and you can go win.
Just like
So-
motocross.
Just like motocross. then I got a full, then some up and downs, lack of sponsors, but I getting a full-time Xfinity ride in 2011 with Randy McDonald again. And then it was really hard for me to get that 17th place finish again.
Yeah.
And I started to respect how well my debut went.
Yeah.
And it was tough, man. And then it was just a battle, trying to make the most of my equipment, not tear stuff up, get good opportunities. Drove for a lot of really nice team owners and good teams, had a shot. I think you were one of my tire changers when I drove that 99 car.
Yeah, Homestead.
Homestead. So that was kind of my big break.
Oh,
was
yeah.
I had some sponsorship to go run that
Right,
99 car.
right off the pole too, right? Like you were
Second, qualified
Yeah.
second.
I remember.
so close though.
I remember when you passed Keselowski in that race, and they were like, "I don't know if you know this, but you just passed the guy that's going to win a championship this weekend."
Yeah, I remember it too,
So,
man.
That I know that was I could tell that was a special weekend for you, and that was
Yeah.
your kind of first time working with a more funded team.
Yeah.
Because you were like, man, you guys really these pit stops are a lot faster than I'm used to.
See, I wasn't ready when that jack dropped the first time.
You're like, "Whoa."
I wasn't even
We
close.
came off the right side, and he thought that we had dropped the car off the jack.
You're like, something wrong?
Yeah, he was like, I'm like, no, man, we train a lot because we were all cup guys at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, that was different. But I remember, and I was like, damn, Blake, because you don't realize it's hard to gauge, especially on the back. Like, there's 12 or 15 good Xfinity cars, and then it's kind of there's races within races that people don't see, and that race from like 12th to 20th, a lot of people don't get to see the type of talent that's in those cars because you're pretty much maxed out, and for you to get that right, I was like, damn, Blake, can't make a good shot at this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was definitely an eye-opener for me. I know the week before at Phoenix, I almost missed the race. I remember I was in a SR2 car, and Joey Gase about bumped me out of the go or go home cars. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to miss the race. I'm not going to get paid. And then that kind of hurt my confidence going to the next week when I was in that RAB car. I think I qualified 35th at Phoenix the week before.
Oh.
And I hop in that RAB car, went out for the first lap practice, ran 2 laps, came in. They hand me this computer, which I've never had a computer in the car before. And I'm like looking at the right. I'm always used to looking at the right side. You know, back then there was 50-something cars. You'd look at the right side. I'd look for my name. I couldn't find it. And I look at the left side, looking, can't find it. And like I was P1. I was like, what? This doesn't even make sense. Like I didn't even
You're like,
do
something's
anything
wrong.
different.
Something's wrong with this computer.
I was just fast. And then we just had a fast car that weekend. We made minimal adjustments. Qualified second, like you said. Lost some. When we started the race, I've never started on the front row before. I didn't know where to look. Like, where do I look? How do I know when to go? I normally follow the guy in front of me. There's nobody in front of me. And I spun the crap out of the tires. Bad. And
First
I think
lap?
right
Oh.
off the, I was like, just didn't even know what to do. I was lost. Drove into turn 1, lifted, which at a mile and a half, you don't lift in the middle of turn 1. But
Especially
me, I'm used to being in 30th. You lift because there's dirty air.
Yeah.
So I got past. I probably settled into 6th or so. And then started reeling them back in and passed Keselowski and started passing these cars. I was just in shock, man. And ended up, going behind later in the race behind Austin Dillon. He hit the wall and I ran in the back of him. Just got us some damage, but we still fought back to finish 11th, I think.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Good times. Good times.
So.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I remember when Kenseth got back in the Roush cars and he was in the Gibbs cars, so it was last year, whenever it was. And he went out and he's like, yeah, it's pretty good, that should be good. I'll come in and talk about it. And he came in and he was like, oh, what? He was like last.
Yeah.
And Stenhouse was like, welcome to the side of the garage, buddy.
Oh my
It's way
gosh.
different because there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And like I had this conversation with LaJoy yesterday after the Dover race, and he's like, look, man, there's a terminal velocity. And when I'm at max terminal velocity for my car, it's 0.6 off of the 19 car. And when you get trying to go faster or you try to do more, you either start wrecking or you start unbalancing your car and just being worse and pressing. And that's where, and I think that's like when he did that pizza review with that Barstool guy, he's like, oh, I have no idea that there's that much of a difference. They just think it's like a football team.
Yeah.
Where like the most talent wins, and it's like, nah, it's not really it. And then you look at how much. Like how many opportunities in a race there is to just show kind of how much stronger big teams are, whether it be pit stops or pit road speed or green flag, anything that's going on. It's so crazy, and it's something that most people don't understand.
Yeah.
And like it's not like you learned to drive overnight when you went to go drive that RB car, and you even thought that you were going to be on the bottom of the sheet.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I was doing the same thing. I'm going so much faster.
Yeah.
And that's something that we talk about a lot. And you take for granted work. Like, I work at Penske, and you take for granted how good your stuff is. Because, we ran 15th, 13th, and 7th yesterday, and it was like everybody had a frown on their face,
Yeah.
So angry.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's just a crazy world that we live in that most people that aren't in it don't understand. And even you didn't understand when
Not
you
at all.
started.
Yeah, I just doubted myself and my ability. But with that said, I do think there are drivers that are better than other drivers.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't think it's all the car. I think I've seen a difference working with Tift. I've seen when we started, and now you have somebody like me just point out the little things and where we need to improve, and like he can get better. Because I've been in that situation where you unload, even in a good car, like I was in college racing, I'd unload, and I was doing stuff wrong. Just doing it wrong, Russian throttle, overdrive entry, whatever it was, and then you start giving bad adjustments. Next thing you know, you're at the end of practice. You're like, we're out to lunch.
Yeah.
And then you figure it out, right? Then you have a team meeting, you talk with drivers, then you figure it out. Oh, I'm doing this, doing that. You look at Dartfish. Well, now you're practice behind.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can catch up, and you're going to finish 10th to 15th.
Well, and there's a reason too that Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick and Joe Logano are in the positions they're in with probably the best cars and the best teams at the track, because that it all goes together.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah, they're really
they're
good.
great race car drivers.
And that's something now that's so crazy, and I don't know if you've seen it, that you can actually watch your cars almost like a video game.
Yeah.
Have you seen that much at all?
Oh yeah, I look at it all the time.
And it's
Yeah.
so crazy, because I was watching one of our engineers watch it during the race, like overlapping our car with the leader, and seeing where we're losing time, we're there on the brakes, we're on the gas,
I
and
didn't know you could watch it during the race.
It's
yeah,
live
it's called
feed.
SMT data.
That's
yeah.
not stock car racing. Come on.
it is
Well,
now.
the drivers
Come
can't
on.
see it.
Well,
Here's the
still,
problem. Here's the problem.
You can relay
A
that information.
manufacturer, and we won't say who, figured out how to tap into it to watch it.
Oh, that's nice.
So then they had to make it live for everybody to make it fair. So
I didn't know that.
it's just part of racing.
Just engineers ruining things.
Well, that's
more
part.
and more.
That,
Come on, out 'em.
Yeah.
well, no, I'm not saying that. But if I didn't still have a job, I would. But yeah. So when you get into that type of warfare, right? You have to just open it up.
Yeah.
Because that's what racing is. Back in the day, you used to have a longer fuel line to get more. You just wrap your fuel line up to get more fuel in the fuel cell. But now it's more of hacking in iClouds and figuring out what other people are doing.
Yeah.
It's a different
This
type of
is-
warfare,
this
but
is the
still,
racing we're in.
Yep. It is what it is.
So, coming out of your, actually, just tell us about the filter time deal.
Yeah.
Like, when did that start? Were you still driving, or was it afterthought after you were out of the car? Like, how did all that come about?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the mindset of wanting to start a business happened my last year driving.
Mhm.
I was like, man, I want to have, this could end at any point, and I have nothing to fall back on. My kids don't have a business to take over. There's really no foundation in my family of income and a business and something cool, and I always wanted that. Like, I want to have a building with a name on it where I can go and see employees, and that my kids can take over one day. And you don't have that as a race car driver unless you start a race team, So I wanted that bad, and I just couldn't figure out what to do. And so I think for over a year, just what I can do, and then, but then you're not all in. You don't have to. There's a difference of trying to think of something to do when you want to, but then when you have to, because you lose your job and your income stops, then now you really got to think
pushes you a
about
little harder.
what you want to do. That's when one day it just hit me. I was driving to Lowe's to get air filters. And because I'm big on changing my air filters on time. I have bad allergies. And
Yeah.
I went to an allergist specialist before I drove that 99 car because I had blurred vision sometimes because my allergies are so bad. And she's like, well, use this, use Flonase, this and that, and make sure your air filters are clean. You use quality air filters and change them every 2 months. I was like, okay. And I started doing that, and that was back in 2013. But it wasn't easy to remember all the time. So anyways, going to Lowe's to get air
Lowe's.
filters.
I just want to make sure you're going to Lowe's. To
I
get
was
these.
going to
Okay,
Lowe's, yeah. And I bought a bunch of stuff for the house that I really didn't need.
Yeah.
And I forgot to buy the air filters. And I was pulling down my road in my driveway. And I was like, dang it, I forgot to buy the dang air filters. And then I started thinking, man, for something so important that everybody needs, it's really a pain in the butt. They're big, bulky, they don't fit in a bag. They get crushed easy in the shopping cart. It's just kind of a pain.
And you forget about them.
And you forget about it. You forget your size. You got to look at your phone, what sizes you
Yep.
have.
That's
when did
the
you change
worst.
them last?
Yeah.
It's like literally a big inconvenience for your home that is very important.
And then if you don't change them, it blows your air conditioning unit. Right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
number one cause for
big
air
deal.
conditioning problems.
Yeah.
Like a dirty air filter is the number one reason for service calls and the number one reason to have your system break down.
What were some of the ideas you had before this? Was there any good ones that you were like, yeah, this is it, or was it just filters?
No, I had some.
You
I had
had
some
pretty
good
good
ones.
ones?
Yeah. I had a lot. I have a notepad
I was gonna
with
say
them
there's
all written
probably a
down
notebook
still.
somewhere.
Yeah, there is. So, anyways, forgot the filters. I was like, I could ship people filters on an auto ship subscription basis. This
Yeah.
is brilliant. And then and I started telling people about it, and they're like, that's a really, really good idea. And then I just dove in. I went for it, found a manufacturer, found a website builder, and just did it, man.
Was your wife on board from day one?
Oh yeah.
Or was she kind of like, eh?
No, she liked it a lot.
Yeah.
She didn't like some of the other ideas. And then I was starting to think of a name. A name's important with a business.
Extremely important.
I'm
Name and
thinking,
logo.
I called Trevor Bain. I was like, hey, what do you think about filter time? And he's like, it's filter time. I was like, that does sound good. And then I just went with it, man. So other business ideas.
You don't have to give them away. I know you're an
No,
entrepreneur.
no,
You
I'm not
gotta-
going to do this.
if you're
This
gonna
one I'm
make
not going to
them-
do is garage door wraps.
Yeah.
So I was driving through my neighborhood. There's really nice house. Any neighborhood you drive through, there's a lot of really nice houses, different colors, and they all have these white garage doors.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like the garage door, there's white stamped out. I was like, man, like I could for like a decent price, I could wrap these things to look wood grain, to be a different color, to match your siding, even make it look like there's landscaping. Like you can do anything to make these things look cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna start wrapping garage doors, going door to door, selling these things.
Door to door.
Yeah, and then I just
Just ready to go.
I was like, yeah, that's not it. That was before I thought of air filters.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not it.
I like the air filters. It's good.
Yeah.
After I heard it, after you explained to me the first time I heard of it, I'm like, well, yeah, obviously this is a great idea. So,
Now,
yeah.
how long have you been in business?
It'll be a year, May 28th.
Really? That,
Dang.
and
Hasn't even
how
been a
many
year?
subscribers you guys up to now?
A lot.
That's
yeah,
good.
a lot. Yeah.
And then do you have to stock inventory and everything? or
Yeah,
do
well, I'm based directly with my manufacturer.
So the manufacturer ships it?
Well, I ship it out of the manufacturer's facility. So
Oh,
when I
okay.
first started, I had a guy in Charlotte that was packing the boxes for me. We go pick up the filters from the manufacturer, bring them to a warehouse.
So
box
they
'em, ship 'em.
manufacture them in the
in
U.S.
Belmont.
Really?
Yeah, in Mount Holly.
Did you know that before?
Well, that was the manufacturer I decided to go with. There's a few
That's
out
great.
there, and the one I found locally, I was like, well, that's better. I want a local person for one, like so I can say that it's locally made and made in the USA is very important, and also so I don't have to pay a bunch of costs to get them sent to me. I
Yeah.
could drive down and pick them up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what we did at the beginning, and now my manufacturer welcomed me in, and I have office space in 20,000 square foot warehouse designated just for filter time, where
Dang.
we're actually making the filters in there, and then right off the line, boxing them, shipping them out.
That's great.
I just
Yeah.
want to say that Off Axis was one of the first filter time customers. We signed up on day one.
You were?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off Axis. And then I tried to get them to get our booth filters. I said, "What? Why don't you be the first paint booth?"
I know.
And
We
we're
do.
st- we're
I
still
was just
working on
wondering
that.
that because I got the powder coating business, and I was like, man, I need filters
We're
for the
working
powder
on
coating
it.
business.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Eventually, we're gonna have filters for everything, but I feel like to succeed at something, you have to focus on one thing. And for me right now, it's really dominating that air filter space. Everybody needs those.
Yeah.
And then it's fulfilling all your other needs as a customer. The next thing for us will be, refrigerator filters, and then we'll go into anything and everything you need with a filter.
Paint booth filters.
Paint booth filters,
Paint booth filters.
absolutely, yeah.
So this is a funny story too. When when filter time started, I told my mom because she's a big Blake Koch racing fan, obviously, and she was like, "Yeah, I got to order." And she's like, "Oh, I don't know if they'll have this size, so I'll call this number and see what they have." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Here's the website." So she calls and then she tells me, she's like, "Yeah, they had the filters and everything, and it was Blake that picked up." So it was like very early on, like Blake's
Dude,
making all
it's
these.
still me that picks
It's
up.
still me that picks.
It is like right now my phone just buzzed. It might be.
Do you
It
need
is. It's a live chat. It's somebody on my website, and
Oh dang!
unfortunately I can't answer them right now.
You
But
have 4 live chats we're keeping your
yeah,
phone.
so like that little bubble.
People are having filter emergencies right now, and we're keeping you
a lot
from
of time they just want to know like if I carry this certain size or how often I recommend they should get it. But
every day,
to get to your point,
daily.
if you call, like, now I took my phone number off the site because when we announced that Dale was part owner, I knew we'd have a lot of traffic and a lot of
yeah.
people calling. I was like, I'm too busy to answer the phones. But every customer knows my phone number because on the
that's good.
emails and the packing slips, there's a phone number. But that does ring to my phone. And that live chat bubble on the website when you want to talk to somebody, that's on my cell
That's
phone.
how I'm texting you from now on.
How
Dude, you
many?
can.
Just
How many
live
do you
chat.
get in the middle of the night?
I shut it off. I turn it off.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. You got to balance that too,
Yeah,
right?
oh
I got
yeah.
a wife that wants my attention,
And
like kids. So
yeah.
like, I'll shut it off at dinner time. So like 6 to 8, I'll shut it off. And then when me and my wife are just kind of hanging out, I'll put it back. A big order time is from like 8 to 10 at night.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on there ordering and they're home from work in different time zones. So I'll turn it back on and then shut it off at 10.
You know what my biggest ordering time is? Sunday afternoon when you're trying to enjoy one evening of a day off
Yeah.
all the time. Oh my gosh.
Or 3 days before a race.
Or
Hey, we
yeah,
need a
3
helmet.
days before the
Yeah.
race. Blake never did that to me. He was pretty
Blake,
good.
you had one of my favorite helmets that came out of this place in the Salt Life helmet.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
You had two of them, didn't
They
you?
were all kind of
He
Salt
had a
Life
lot
themed.
of them, yeah.
Well, the one with the fish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, they all look good. My favorite helmet to this day is still the very first helmet you painted for me, that matte blue Daystar
one.
helmet.
That was back in the day too. Blake was our first Xfinity driver back then. He's number 2 NASCAR
Yeah, you
driver.
messaged me on Facebook. You're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can I paint one of your helmets?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sure."
Did
On
the same thing to
Facebook.
me.
He's like, "Well, here's my shipping. Just ship it to me." And
Were
I
you
was
in Missouri still?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
Missouri.
so-
I was like, "Well, I don't have a plane with you. Oh, I'll sand it down. Just send me whatever you got." And
You're
I
like-
think I sent you like a matte black Bell one, like with the
Oh
matte
yeah,
finish
with the rubber on
with
it.
the rubber on
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, oh yeah, I can't do this.
And you sent it back to me within like a week.
Yeah, I didn't have any customers then. I
I know.
was just by myself.
Yep. So everybody listening to this, Greg can get it done in less than a week.
Yeah. Oh, when
Yeah.
we do get them done in less than a week, it's the number we have to get done. It's
Yeah.
very big, and then these younger kids think it takes 2 days to do it, and that's when it gets hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, you were always good, easy to work with. You
Yeah, I
didn't
try
really-
to be. I understand the demand, and I saw you growing and getting your first office and then moving to bigger offices, and now you know, start seeing everybody with your stuff on it. Obviously, you can't just put everything aside. Like, you have a lot of customers.
Yeah. Now we have a building with our name on the front.
I know,
Yeah,
I
like you.
know. I appreciate that. Like, I can appreciate little things like that as a business owner. For you, it's probably cool just to see that logo on a building.
Every
like
day.
a nice quality sign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is-
walking in, seeing people working. Like, this is probably what you imagined 10 years ago of, like, it's coming to life, and not many people can understand that feeling.
Yeah,
but I
sleeping at the
can.
shop, working 7 days a week. That's exactly what I imagined. Yeah.
You have a little bit
Buckle
of-
up. You're next. dude.
Hey, that's why I picked a business to get into that's not custom artists
Oh.
that have to work, because artists are a different breed, and you have to have skilled artists to do this stuff. So
True.
powder coating, spray the powder, bake it. If
Yeah, you
there's a
don't have
low
to be
spot,
good at
respray
it.
Well, you don't. You have to be good at it, but you don't have to have a custom skill.
That's true.
It's not
I could do
fine, detail, skilled labor. It's
Yeah,
just
more
labor.
available labor out there for your
Yeah.
business.
Correct.
Yeah.
it. Okay, so next question. You started this business because you're an entrepreneur. How in the world did you get Dale Jr. to be like, this is awesome, I need to be involved? Because that was a pretty big announcement when it
And
came
a smart move.
out. Very smart, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've shared this story
We can
Publicly,
be
yeah.
the first.
and you can. I've shared a little bit, but I'll give you some details. We have time. Are
we
good on
we have
time?
all the time
Okay.
you want. Daryl says yes.
So
Donald says
okay,
yes.
so I'm driving. I think a lot when I'm driving.
Yeah,
Right. I'm just driving.
Not to
Radio
lose
off.
this time.
I was going to my apparel shop to go with making sure the apparel shop's doing good, and my mom's fine. She runs the apparel shop.
ASAP apparel.
ASAP
if
apparel.
you need anything.
Yeah, made these hats, make all the stuff I've ever worn. So there's that plug. Anyways, I'm like, man, this is such a great business, but I need, like, how do I get people to hear about it?
Yeah.
Like, I have a decent amount of social media followers, and how do I get people to hear about it? And who am I going to find to help me with the digital marketing? Because digital marketing is everything, online advertising.
Huge.
And I've been talking to all these different companies around the world that say they can do all this stuff for me for this amount of money. And who do you trust? Like, how do you trust these people?
Yeah.
How do you pay them? And if they don't deliver the results, you're shut down. Like, as a startup, you only have a certain amount of money. So I was thinking, who's the best at marketing? Who does it the best? Who's best at building brands and just trusting, and who has a good name and just like the perfect person that has everything I would ever need as a business. And I was like, man, if I could get Dale to come on board, that would just be it. That's what I need. He
Yeah.
has the digital marketing team. He has Dirty Mo Media. He can make the commercials. He has the social media team. He has the likable face and trusting face when you go to the website, and if you see Dale Jr. on there, you trust it. Like, you know it's a good company because he's endorsing it. And he has a big reach, right? So that's kind of the icing on the cake, is his reach.
Junior Nation.
Yeah, all the other stuff that was the most important to me, being able to trust somebody that could lead you in the right direction of a business, that could help you with the marketing and the branding, and all the tools he has with Dirty Mo Media. And then he had a DIY show where he was renovating
Yeah.
his house, and kind of his whole brand fit what I imagined Filter Time to be. And I was like, what do I have to lose? I'm done driving. It'll probably be a relief for him to get a text from a driver that has nothing to do about driving his race cars.
Yeah.
So I got his number from somebody that I promised I would never tell them who gave me his number. And I text him. I was like, hey man, I I put racing aside and decided to put all my time and energy into this new business. It's all about marketing and branding. I would love to pick your brain one day. And he's like, okay, well let's do lunch or something. I'll have maybe I can get Kelly to join. And that was pretty early. That was like April. So I didn't have a website yet. I didn't anything to show him. I was like, oh, this is a little early. And
It's like a year. When?
It's over a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is before the website, the company even started. It was
Yeah.
still just an idea phase, and I was building a site. Anyways, time went by, and I kind of waited till I launched the site. And I texted him again. I was like, hey, launch the site. It's going great. Would love to meet up. And he said, let's meet ASAP. Kelly's going to set up a meeting for us to talk about this. And that was my shot, really. I met him at Junior Motorsports, 10 a.m. on a Monday morning before he went on for his podcast, and shared what I was doing, shared my vision, my passion for it, and that I was going to win and do whatever it took to make this business successful. And it was my primary focus, and I really believed in it. And he walked out of there saying he wanted to be my partner.
Dang.
So he didn't want to just do an endorsement deal or do a sponsorship. He really wanted to go on the journey with me and own the company with me. And I didn't go there for that. I went there to maybe he could just give me a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Like one post.
Yeah.
Right? And I left there with a business partner.
That's crazy.
And
so was your mind just blown after that?
Oh gosh, it was. Well, yeah. And then how do you keep that secret? It was hard for me to not tell anybody for almost a year.
I was gonna say we just found out like a month ago. So,
yeah, but I found out it was like June 8th.
Yeah.
When he made that decision. But then there was a lot of things we wanted to go through. I had to make sure, want to make sure the business is rolling and work out the kinks. It's a startup, and then I knew that I needed to build a custom site, and that cost a lot of money. So I wanted the business to roll and invest the profits back into building a better website, which we have now. We launched that April 1st. It's a fully custom website where you can just do a lot with it.
That's cool.
On the back end. The front end is not much different, but the back end, what I can see, what I can change and control is much better.
In the live chat.
In the live chat. I've always had the live chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've always had the live chat. That's just a little app.
I'm going to start using it.
Then when you get somebody like him to invest, then you're like, the pressure's really on. I'm sure you walked out of there like, okay.
Yeah, was it like JRM
Now I've got
Shark Tank when you walked in there?
Not really. Not really, man. He's such a cool guy and laid back and doesn't want me to stress, wants to make it fun. And we've always said, let's just build trust in this company and have the best customer service possible ever. If somebody orders the wrong size, we send them a new one. We don't even make them send it back. We don't charge them extra.
Smart.
We just send them a new one. And it's literally hassle-free. We don't want any bad reviews. We just really want to focus on customer service and make it literally hassle-free to buy air filters. And then the rest will come from that.
Yeah.
The business will grow. People will hear about it. And it'll just be a success. So if we just focus on the customer service, we know we have a good product. But the product is pretty simple. It's an air filter, So we need to provide the best customer service possible, and the rest will just happen. But he doesn't put any pressure on me. He doesn't ask about how many subscribers we have or what's. He doesn't even ask.
Like a
it's
monthly
really,
meeting on numbers?
No, not at all. It's more like, how do we make this fun? Let's do some fun content. We have this. We kind of edited a video we did, and we're gonna put that out soon. It's a little more fun, and we also shot a 30-second commercial spot that's gonna air. Actually tonight locally on the Dale Jr. Download.
Oh, dang.
Oh, that's
It'll be my
exciting.
first ever. This will be my first time advertising.
Is it like a Billy Mays? You're like...
No, you'll
like
have to
the
see
Flex,
it. Yeah.
Like the Flex Seal guy?
Yeah, the
No,
Flex Seal guy.
no,
I love
no.
the Flex Seal guy.
It's like Dale's walking and talking about air filters, picks the filter up off the front door and just talks.
So you don't cut a boat in half.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Man.
Gosh, dang it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
man,
awesome.
that's
Just a
yeah,
local
that's-
commercial in the Charlotte market.
That's
just
super exciting.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's something that I think is great. And my dad was HVAC, so I know about filters, but I would forget to change them. And when they're at your doorstep,
Yeah.
you just go, oh, okay, boom, changed out,
Oh yeah.
and then you're rolling. So
What's your dad
I-
doing HVAC?
he does he has a business in
Yeah.
New Jersey,
Awesome.
but he kind of just does his own deal because
Okay.
he's completely unemployable.
Yeah.
But he's super. He's one of the best plumbers, HVAC guys I've ever around up there. But
Yeah.
he's taught me a lot about it. I never really got into it because of the racing deal.
Mhm.
But like we were just talking about before we came in here, how much your business can branch out. And I think it's, a lot of people don't think that way. And getting in Greg and I have both gotten an entrepreneurship, and the different things that you come up with, and like, oh, that's a great idea, and then, oh wait, that won't work because
Yeah.
of margins, or because of how much you have to invest, or what your customer base is.
Yeah.
You can literally send filters the whole country and really anywhere.
Yeah.
That's something that extends Canada, Mexico. You can do pretty much anything.
Yeah,
so.
you can. It's endless, man.
Blake
A lot of people
knows-
need but here's an important part of starting a business that I was able to do and very blessed to be able to do is I didn't have to make money from Filter Time.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't going to take any money out of Filter Time for years.
Yeah.
So I had to get a job. I had to get jobs, and that's when I have my driver coaching. I have my deal on Fox as a Race Hub analyst, and I have a lot of other things that pay my bills. Filter Time, any profit whatsoever goes right back into the company to make it better.
I think that's it. People don't
That's
understand
important.
that. Yeah. I didn't pay myself for 3 years trying to get this.
That's
place
probably
running.
what it'll be. It'll probably be
Yeah.
about 3 years. Yeah.
So if you're really serious about building a business, that's what you have to go
You
after.
kind of have to.
People
If-
don't realize that.
It'd just be too much to grow without debt and without capital,
Yeah.
without big investors,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to build this company and sell it and get I want a big family business that's awesome and I'm proud of.
Do you want to
Yeah.
buy off Axis?
No,
Not yet.
No.
I think you're doing a good job.
Let me know if Carter wants to
Okay.
buy it one day.
Well, yeah, maybe you can paint him a helmet first and get
We
his
can do
interest.
that. He won this weekend, right?
Yeah.
He got to
yeah.
he sprayed this
What's he racing?
bottle of
Dirt
water.
bikes.
Really?
50s.
Where at?
All
around
over,
here?
man. We've done the Loretta Lynn's areas, and we
Really?
got regionals coming up.
Are you gonna do the like the guys on the KTM's, the little guys on the KTM's at Supercross?
Yeah, but usually
a
7 and
lottery.
8 for that, and he's only 6.
Okay.
So that's probably, if I keep him on a dirt bike, that'll be in about 2 years.
We were gonna go dirt bike racing when I was a kid, and I whiskey throttled and hung off the back of a dirt bike, and I didn't hit any of the trees, and I fell over, and my dad said, "Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
quarter midgets it is."
Yeah.
So
Dude, my kid, I try not to brag about my kid too much, but he's good, man. He just won all 4 motos up at East Bend on the PW50 and the KTM Mini.
it's
And
so weird.
Killing it.
he's just killing it. Ricky Stenhouse built him a practice track over at Stenhouse's place.
That's
So
great.
we go out there once a week and practice, and he loves it. Every day after school, we going riding. I can't today, buddy. I try to make Wednesdays that day. I take off a little early and take him practice.
He won a whole case of cheer wine this weekend.
He did.
That's
Yeah.
big.
exciting.
Yeah, it's a big victory lane up there.
Cavities. coming
Yeah,
up.
he's not allowed to drink them.
Uh,
But he wanted to do that. He took a water bottle and sprayed it like the
Yeah.
champagne,
It's
like
pretty
he sees
funny.
on TV. Yeah,
I
it's funny.
wonder about that with our daughter, because everybody asks me, "Is she gonna race? Is she gonna race?" And I'm like, man, I would promote her to do any sport, right? Anything she wants to do, and like my wife was a big basketball player and wanted her to do anything, but I'm like, I don't know if she wants to race. Like, I feel like if she wants to race, and being a racer my whole life, it's like, all right, well, there's a certain way we're gonna do it. And then her being a girl in the racing industry, where this is how we're gonna do it, and we're not like, we'll play with it as fun for first, but if it's something that you want to do, I would see it being hard for myself to not be like that overzealous father, like,
Yeah.
because I've never just been racing just for fun. It's always been
Yeah.
kind of a business, and how do you want to keep them in it for fun, or when you're competitive? So that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
struggling with that now. And
It
she's
worked
only
out well
one
for
and a half.
Dungy and
Yeah,
all those guys that didn't talk to their parents for a while.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
that
pretty
route.
committed to. I'm very committed actually to not push or yell at my kid. For one,
Yeah.
I'm too afraid of him getting hurt, and I know if I push him too hard and he gets hurt, I don't want that burden and that feeling.
Yeah, that's
Usually
the
I'm like,
worst.
dude, be careful. Like, don't try to jump that jump yet. Like, the speed's in the corners, not in the
Yeah.
jumps. And the other dad's like, you better jump in, throw the bike. I'm like, oh, and then my kid goes out there and wins.
Yeah.
Look at you
So
coaching.
no, I don't coach him, and I'm a little worried about that if we start racing go-karts, that I will get like
Yeah.
that.
Ooh.
Because
That's what
I
scares me.
do know what I'm talking about. With dirt bikes, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, and
just-
dirt bikes
oh.
is scary.
Twist the throttle.
Yeah.
I had a conversation, like I said, when I stopped at my buddy's house, and they built the tracks at a track called Raceway Park up in New Jersey, where Jason Lawrence and a lot of those guys
Yeah.
came out of. And
I used to race with Jason Lawrence.
he's crazy. And he said, when I was building the tracks, you got to be careful on where you place the jumps, because if you place them, someone's gonna go for it,
Mm-hmm.
even if it looks crazy.
Yeah.
If it's a triple, he said even if it's 140 feet, they're going for it. And he's like, so you got to be careful when you're building the track at how close off a corner or how close a corner is, and like just the things you don't even think about when you do that. And then if you're a father, thinking about a kid going for that, if you're
Yeah.
pushing them too hard and then getting hurt, I can't even.
I can't imagine either, dude. I'm scared to death of it, actually.
Dad life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dad life.
Being
Alright.
a dad is scary. You should try. Well, you should get married first.
No,
and then you should-
not yet. Gotta build the business a little more.
What?
Yeah. You had a job.
what
this
you
is
ta-
my. This
I
is
had
my,
a job.
you
I
were-
got married 9 years ago.
you
You
were
didn't even know
racing?
who I was 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
I
You-
was in a late model strut, just having fun. Just
Blake married a supermodel.
Are those things-
Did you know that?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Abercrombie girl, right?
She was Abercrombie, Target. She did a lot of modeling. Yeah. Yeah, she did good for
I know where his
herself,
mind
yeah.
was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a race car driver either.
Oh wow, so
That could
she's.
just show you how good of a salesman I am.
Hey,
That's pretty good then, honestly.
Yep.
no
So-
wonder you're doing well at business.
That's right. You
That's
gotta. It's
good.
all about sales. You gotta sell.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
anything else new coming up other than you and Dale Jr.'s commercial tonight, or?
I mean, probably. Yeah. Just with all the stuff. Yeah, I have a couple weeks off of race hub, but get back on that soon. I'm going to Kansas with Harrison Burton this weekend.
Oh yeah, driver coach.
Driver coach.
Is it
yeah.
ARCA race or?
No, truck
Trucks,
race.
trucks.
Yeah, truck race.
Is he doing any Xfinity? He did an Xfinity race.
He did
in
at
Bristol.
Bristol. Yep.
And
Yep,
he's
that went
got-
well. Finished top 10.
Okay,
He
one
was
last
super fast.
one last story here, because Blake coaches and stuff. So he spotted for Matt Tift last year, and I spotted for Reddick, and we're sitting there talking, and Blake's mind is like not even on the race. Like he's just talking about filters to me all day long up there, and I we had like a rain delay or something, and he's like, "Yeah, when I drive by houses now, I just look at them and I try to guess how many filters they have in the house, and he's pretty close on most of the places
Yeah,
now,
I can
right?
pretty much. Yeah, you can tell a lot about a person by how many filters they have.
Yeah, like that's all he thinks about now is just filter. I was like, that's pretty much the same thing. All I do is look at helmets on TV, and
Yeah.
I know exactly who painted what helmet just by looking at it now. So
I
yeah,
drive
once-
by a house. I look at see how many of those AC units are outside. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a good house. That's a
It's so
profitable house
funny.
right there.
and
I
I was
wonder
like,
why I only
oh,
have one.
the cars are coming. We should probably get back to spotting now.
That's crazy.
But I was focused on spotting,
Right.
and I was in front of you.
Well, I'm sure
I
you
kept
were
rubbing in your face,
you were
like,
in
dude,
front of
where you
us
at?
all
Where's your
week.
driver at?
You're in front of us all weekend.
Because I'm a competitor. I wanted to talk crap. And I think I
Ugh.
talked crap to you the whole day.
we didn't even finish either one of those races, so
You guys both
Spotter,
wrecked?
man.
Blame it on the spotter.
yeah.
No, we finished both. We finished third and one.
You guys almost got the pole in one, I think.
Did
right?
get the pole
Oh,
at Road
yeah.
America. Yeah.
Blake
See?
Koch coaching. So
Tyler
called the wrong
admitted
spotter,
last
man.
week road courses are not his strong suit.
Yeah, he was on here. He
Sat
said-
right there and said, "Yeah, not good at keeping it between the mayonnaise and the mustard."
he's not great.
You know the biggest thing that helped me with the road courses? McDowell told me 90%. Just go 90%.
That's smart. Maybe I should start telling my guys.
And then I started running really well. 'cause,
You,
like
you're buddies with McNeil.
Yeah.
Call him today, and he might need to get on your training program because he had to sit on the wall in our pit box yesterday, and I gave him a water because he was tired after the race.
Really?
So just call him and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
Flores said you were flapped out in his pit box yesterday.
Okay, I
gave him a
will.
water.
I
Alright.
will.
So he might need to hit the gym with you."
Okay.
Well,
So,
How'd Tiff look? He looked good.
I didn't.
He's
He wasn't.
solid.
He didn't even stop by. He just kept going.
Yeah.
I didn't see
yeah,
him.
that's how good
Yeah.
he is.
And
Onto
he
the,
was at the gym this morning.
onto the
fresh.
marathon.
Denny Hamlin
max
also
pull-ups
getting
today.
oxygen. Getting
Really?
oxygen yesterday. What's a
Yeah.
max pull-up for Matt Tiff?
Well, today he did 3 sets of 8 pull-ups.
That's
Oh.
good.
3 sets of 8. He could probably go bust
don't
out
think I could
15
do
pull-ups in
2.
a row, but I make him do so. Like we did a routine, like 8 pull-ups, and go over and do 30 push-ups, and then do an ab roller, and then back to 8 pull-ups. So like you're
How
pretty
many
fatigued.
ab roll?
Stop.
How many? On the
15?
ab roller.
You're making me feel lazy.
All the way out.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
Yeah.
I need to come work out with you.
yeah.
All right, we're leaving. Thanks to MRN.
Okay.
Thanks
Yeah.
to Dotes Dude for always listening. I keep telling him I'm going to mention him.
Our
and I-
biggest fans in Australia.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dotes Dude, man.
Those dudes
Nice.
stud.
Tell him that he needs to order some filters. We'll tell him.
Well, we don't ship it there.
Not yet.
Not yeah.
We will, though.
You need to get an Australian plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks
Okay.
for coming in, buddy. I
Cool.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.